Sharkast. 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 IAA Sharkast.
Hello, this is Dr. Don, your host for Sharkast episode 66. Yes, I know it's been a while, but we are here with you today to share with you the General Assembly slides. We held the General Assembly April 25th. That's Tuesday of this last week at 6 p.m. Thank you to all those who showed up and enjoyed the reports from the board and learned about the board's work this year. I'm going to go through the slides so that you have a general understanding of what we discussed in the General Assembly. So we had the agenda where we had a call to order, a welcome, IAA celebrations, board committee reports, and the election of new board members. We looked first at our achievements, the finishing of phase 1 of our master facilities plan, the hiring of a highly sought after executive director, the Inclusion School of 2023, and our presentation at the MISA conference in the region, and our continued established reputation in the region as a leader in inclusive education and personalized education for each of our students. We also shared with you new hire teachers for this upcoming school year, 23-24. The big one to the left would be our new executive director, Dr. Jessica Gilway, and her husband, Michael. They'll be coming with their family. We also hired Heather Thompson as an elementary teacher. She's pictured on the left in the middle picture. And then we hired Haley and Adam Pruitt, science and elementary teachers, and Christina Breimer, a secondary science teacher, and Breen Ali, an elementary teacher, and Leela Croy and her family, secondary math. We're excited to welcome them to IAA Go Sharks. In addition, the big ribbon cutting ceremony is something that we celebrated at the General Assembly, the finishing of our phase 2 to make our facilities accessible to all, the hiring of Dr. Jessica Gilway, and the hosting of our second inclusion conference, the Inclusion School of 2023. We'd like you to meet our new director, so I'm going to play the video so you can meet Dr. Gilway and her family.
Hi, my name is Dr. Jessica Gilway. I'm either known as Dr. Jessica or Dr. Gilway, depending on how old you are. So I'm so excited. I want to take a minute to introduce myself. I'm going to be the new General Director at Inter-American Academy in Guayaquil. We will be joining you all in July of this year. We are finishing up our time here at Santa Cruz Cooperative School, and I'll be coming with my family. My husband, Michael, will be teaching 3rd grade, and my daughter, Lillian, will be heading into 5th grade. And my son, Esteban, is 3, and he'll be heading into the 3-year-olds program. We're so excited to become Sharks and to join you in Guayaquil. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and I graduated from Chagrin Falls High School. I went to college in Ohio at Ohio Wesleyan University, and I majored in environmental studies and international studies with a concentration in Latin America. I had a chance to study abroad in Ecuador, actually in 1998, and I'm excited to go full circle and come back to Ecuador. I also got my master's degree in bilingual education from the University of New Mexico, and I got my doctorate in educational leadership from Appalachian State University. I've been here in Bolivia for a total of 7 years. I was here for 3 years as a teacher. I went back to the United States for a decade, and now I'm coming back and finishing up my 4 years as the General Director here. So what do I like to do when I'm not being the General Director of Santa Cruz Cooperative School, or soon to be IAA? I love to travel. I love to go and explore and see new places. I love the water, and I really love to swim, and I love to bike and hike. I also love to be outdoors. I love to garden. I do Pilates and yoga, and I'm a very active and engaged person. I actually can't wait to use the pool at IAA and to become a shark. So we will see you soon for the transition visit, and I hope you'll come and we'll get a chance to meet in person. On May 5th through May 11th, I'll be in Guayaquil, and I look forward to meeting you all very soon. I'll see you soon, and I thank you for taking a few minutes out of your General Assembly to get a chance to meet me and my amazing family. Go Sharks!
Hi, I'm Lillian Gilbert. I'm going to be a 5th grade student at IA. I'm super excited to be moving to Ecuador. Go Sharks!
I'd like to take a minute to introduce you to my son, Esteban. Esteban is 3 years old, and he goes to school at Discovery right now. And he's going to be a shark next year in the 3-year-old class. Can you say hi? Can you wave and say hi? Can you say hola? Hola.
Hello, I'm Michael Gelbart, and I'm very excited to be joining the team at IAA. I believe I'll be teaching 3rd grade, and I look forward to getting to know all the families at the school. Go Sharks!
I feel honored to have worked with Dr. Jessica. I feel like she set the bar high for me, and that helped me overcome challenges and helped me grow.
Jessica is the kind of person that you can learn from every day. She's talented, skilled, and big-hearted. Working under her leadership has been one of the most valuable job experiences that I had. All the time and effort she dedicates to her job, it's unbelievable and it's greatly appreciated. Jessica, thank you so much for all your support, inspiration, and encouragement.
Growth is the word that I think of when I think of Dr. Gilly. Everything that she touches and everything that she works on grows and gets better. Get ready, because you're going to see a lot of growth in your community and in every aspect of your lives. You're very lucky to have her.
Dr. Jessica es extraordinaria, es dinámica, apasionada, comprometida, y la luz y la pasión que lleva hacen iluminar el cuarto más oscuro. Aprovéchenla, disfrútenla, valórenla, que son muy, muy afortunados en tenerla.
Come out May 5th, the week of May 5th to the 12th, to visit her and meet her before or after school if you'd like to come meet her. And make sure you welcome her family to Inter-American Academy family. The Board of Directors presented their unique purpose to prepare compassionate, happy, successful future global leaders who impact the world in a positive way. They talked about the strategic plan that we follow and the 5 pillars of the strategic plan. And you can see these pillars. There's a background picture of our students that presented at the Inclusion Conference from our Gifted program. And that is really the foundation to everything we do at IAA. Our students come first. We center everything around them. But the 5 strategic objectives that the board chair, Cheryl Johnson, shared with the General Assembly are to enhance education system, personalize North American international education, recruit, develop, and retain the best teachers for IAA, develop the best educational infrastructure to facilitate students' and teachers' potential, develop a strong social impact that enhances our community beyond IAA, and a slow growth process up to 400 students grade by grade. Really, the key to the board is that they look at the picture of what IAA should be 10 years from now, and they work on the governance of the school, the big picture, not the operational or the day-to-day operations. That falls within the jurisdiction of the head of school. The board committees this year were the Search and Transition Committee, the Finance Committee, the Facilities Committee, and the Governance Committee. Cheryl explained that the Governance Committee and the Finance Committee are always standing committees that the board has every year, and then the needs of the board changes, and so do the committees. The first report was about the Search and Transition Committee, and Stefan Mueller presented about this committee, which he chairs. He explained that we first did some research on headhunting agencies that look for heads of school, and all of the agencies that we quoted, 5 different agencies, cost between $25,000 and $30,000 for their services, and the timeline would have put us hiring a head of school around April of this year, so very recently. Fortunately for us, we have a reputation in the region as being an outstanding school that's doing some very innovative and creative things, and it attracted a number of world-class candidates without using the search agencies. So we were able to interview 3 finalists that were incredible candidates. Any one of them could have been a great director of IAA. Dr. Jessica Gilway was also a finalist for 3 other top jobs around the world, and she selected Inter-American Academy as her choice. The Finance Committee then reported. The Finance Committee is run by Charles Wheeler, is the chair of the Finance Committee. He's also the board treasurer. They reported the IAA recruitment phases. Many of you might not be aware, but when we're recruiting international teachers, that process begins actually this September and November before they actually come to the school. Most of the teachers are usually hired by January, and so the final budget is approved for February for the following academic school year, because we've already signed contracts with those teachers. Most of the budget, as you're aware, Inter-American Academy is a nonprofit school, so our goal isn't to make money, our goal is to support our students. So the money goes directly to our students, and most of it comes through personnel. So paying our teachers' salaries and getting them here and the visas, that takes up the majority of our budget. The budget also revolves around our student enrollment. As you can see, in the last decade, the enrollment has been on a positive trajectory. We've had our all-time highs for a number of students at Inter-American Academy over the past 5 years, with the culmination of that during the 2019-2020 school year, where we had 330 students at one time. Of course, that was pre-pandemic, and we've been raising our numbers back up to 299 the last couple of years. We haven't quite gotten to that 300 mark, but our budget is at this current time 289 students. So that affects what kind of budget we have for the following year. With that in mind, the assumptions that the Board of Finance Committee looked at in creating their budget would be to increase the monthly tuition fee by 5% just to keep up with inflation and the costs that have risen. 25% discount in matricula or registration will still be offered this year if families register before May 31st. So that's a really nice discount. A decrease in student enrollment due to security issues in Guayaquil was an issue in developing the budget for this year. And also, the board wanted to maintain quality education with student needs as a priority without dipping into our reserves. So the school subsidizes over 50% of the cost of each student on a student learning plan. So there will continue to be some fees to maintain that other 50% of the costs. We offered as a school $52,123.40 of financial assistance to 12 families during this academic school year. The U.S. State Department provided the following grants for the school year: a security grant of $94,800.33, and then our traditional educational grant of $75,000, a total of $169,833 was offered by the U.S. State Department for us to be able to continue our education in an American system for the U.S. consulate students. So our budget forecast for this year, the forecast shows that our expected end of the year result as predicted by the March end of year report will be $149,109.07 in the positive. Our depreciation is estimated around $195,000. And so after depreciation, we would actually be in the negative. Depreciation isn't a real number, but at IAA it is becoming more and more real each year because our facilities have depreciated to the point to where we are spending a lot of money each year in repairs and maintenance of our old and aging buildings, thus the reason for our master facilities plan. The budget for next year, with that 5% increase, gives us a predicted $298,000 in the positive, and after depreciation, only $108,000. That's built on a budget of 295 students. So we hope to have at least 295 students next year. And we need your support, of course, to invite your friends to be a part of the great education that we receive at Inter-American Academy. Next, the Facilities Committee presented. Zheng Gao is the Facilities Committee chair, and so he presented about this project. As you can see, the covered walkways were added. This is a rendering of what the master facilities plan would look like after phases 1 and 2. There's something missing in this picture. If you look down here by our sports gymnasium, our sports covered area, we now have a new covered area right here, which was not originally part of the plans. So what was included in the original plans of phase 1? Providing accessibility around campus through ramps, covered walkways, and the remodeling of the parking area. The estimated cost of this project was $895,000. The actual construction ended up being different than what we had originally planned in a good way. We added some extra ramps around the campus so the cars would have access to the back field to be able to park on big event days like Halloween or International Day. In addition to that, we added an accessibility ramp at Gate 2, and then the big one is the new covered sports area. In addition to that, we repaired and repainted the original covered court area. The total cost was $961,000, so just about $66,000 more than we originally projected, but we got a lot more out of that extra $66,000. There was a question asked by a parent at the General Assembly that after phase 1 and the costs that were rendered for phase 1, how are we doing financially? Are we in debt as a school because of taking out a loan? The great news is that we were able to pay for the entire cost of phase 1 with our general reserves. We had very healthy general reserves, and so we were able to pay for that out of our own reserves, so that we don't have any debt or loans. Continuing with the phase 1 of the Master Facilities Project, all of these pictures came to fruition. You can see that it was quite a process. The picture on the left was actually taken 1 week before school was supposed to start. So you can see that the project took a little bit longer than we anticipated, but as you can see on the right, we did complete it, and we had our grand opening ceremony. At nighttime, we're able to light it up, so it's really safe for parents to travel. And then, of course, our parking area. If you knew what our old parking lot looked like, this is like going from someplace pretty low to heaven. So we're very, very excited that we have a very nice and safe parking lot now. Our new covered court area. Mr. Ray Domingo, for over 30 years, he's been trying to get additional covered space for our kids to keep the sun and the rain off of their heads when they're in PE. And so now we have that space, and we're very, very lucky to have it, and we've been enjoying it a lot this year. So we're looking forward to many years of our kids being safer during PE. This is a rendering of phase 2 of the project, the new administration and secondary building. This is a rendering from the side of that building, maybe facing from the pool area to the building. And this is from the softball field to the back of that building. When it's built, it will look something like this. However, we have mentioned on this slide that phase 2 has been put on hold for now. The Facilities Committee and the Finance Committee have been meeting regularly this year to look at our finances, the current rates of loans in the country, and then the current risk of student enrollment with safety and some of our families moving back to their country of origin. And so we think it prudent as a board to put that phase 2 on hold for the time being until we're assured that we have a healthy enrollment. So if you missed it, episode 63 of our Sharkast was the Universal Access Phase 1 opening ceremony, grand opening. So that was a great video. If you want to check that out, it shows the whole process of our Master Facilities Phase 1. We also had 2 students that have a project to help us with Phase 2. our new administrative and secondary building. And these Nicolas presented at our General Assembly meeting. He's probably the most exciting presenter of all of our board members. Sorry, board members, but Nicolas is great. And Joshua was not able to attend, but the two of them have put together great projects that we introduced at the General Assembly. And that's to adopt a tree and to have your legacy be put on IAA campus as a legacy of nature and green, the green school that we are. And this money will go to fundraising for this new building so that we don't have to take out a bigger loan, but we can actually raise money as a community and as alumni to support this venture. So you can, for $300 to $1,000, adopt a tree and get a nameplate with your family name or your company name put on the nameplate on the tree. And there will also be the opportunity for 21 people to do this, because these boys planted 21 trees around our campus, and these trees are in different strategic locations. So if you pick a tree front and center, it's going to cost a little bit more money to sponsor that tree, but your contribution will be noticed on a daily basis as we pass this tree over the next 40 or 50 years. We will also be having an auction for two of the oldest trees on campus, trees that have been here for over 50 years. And this will be a bidding auction where we start at $1,000 and you'll able to be bidding in. And I believe this will be a virtual bidding so we can include alumni around the world. And I think Miss K is going to be bidding on those trees. So you got to get in there so that you can get your name on the tree and beat Miss K. So March 22nd is when these boys started this project, and they're ready to take you through the process of adopting a tree. So you can see on your screen, there's a registration form here. If you want information, just scan that, and then you can fill out your information, and it's no obligation. You fill out the information, and then you can be part of the possibility of either adopting a tree already or being a part of the auction. So please participate. Leave your legacy of your family here at Inter-American Academy. If you're a family that's moved on from Inter-American Academy and is elsewhere in the world, this is your opportunity to get connected back again with Inter-American Academy. We hope you join us and support our Master Facilities Project, because our kids really are the future. These boys really want to be in a new building when they're secondary students, when they're in high school. Governance Committee then presented. The Governance Committee works on maintaining and updating board policy manual and operations, and they also review the skills and needs of the board as far as new board members. The Governance Committee has revised and worked on the following policies this academic school year: the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice policy, and the Naming and Fundraising policy. This is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Justice policy that was accepted and ratified by the board this academic school year. It reads, at Inter-American Academy, we are committed to providing for each student and member of the IA community a safe environment and an educational experience that leads to a deeper understanding of and respect for people and perspectives. We believe that a diverse and inclusive community is stronger, more compassionate, and more sustainable than one that is actively or implicitly excludes those who are different. We believe that IA is like a family, therefore creating a sense of belonging for each member of the community. A commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice is imperative for IAA to fulfill its mission. We then went on to the election of new board members. The general qualities of a board member: they should have excellent people skills with experience collaborating in multidisciplinary, diverse, and dynamic teams. Demonstrated resourcefulness in setting priorities, proposing new ways of creating efficiencies, and guiding investment in people and systems. Personal qualities of integrity, credibility, and commitment to IA's mission. Strong organization and prioritization skills, and a highly developed team management and leadership skills, the ability to think outside the box. Those are the qualities that the board looks for. When they get a candidate that's interested in being a member of the board, they show that candidate a 1 hour and 15-minute video that's an old training video from IAA a few years ago during the pandemic. And in this video, it talks about the real responsibilities of a board member versus a head of school, and articulates what is needed in that. The board members also look for certain people with certain skills so that we have a balance of all the skills that we need on the board in order to be the most diverse and expert board as possible. Once the candidates go through this process of maybe an interview with the board members and a training video, some of them continue to want to be board members, and they go through the process of being elected onto the board. At the General Assembly, we were able to hear from several of these board members and learn a little bit about their expertise, and then they were voted as members of the board. All three of them are new members. So we have Byron Hara, a new member of the board, and he's a Shark since 2022. He's a lieutenant in the Navy and is currently deployed at the Ecuador Naval Academy, and we're really happy to have his family here. You can see his family in this picture, and of course that's what we're all about, is our families. And so we're very excited to welcome Byron Hara to the board. Our next candidate was Sammy Cruz, and Sammy is also a mother and a former military wife, and she's experienced international schools in other countries. And so she brings her expertise and her communication prowess that she uses at the U.S. Consulate to Inter-American Academy. And there's a picture of her family also. So we're very welcome Sammy to the board. And we're very happy to have her family at Inter-American Academy. And then the third new board member is Roberto Castillo. And Roberto is an Ecuadorian businessman who works at Country Manager, Ecuador, Kimberly-Clark. And actually, he worked at Country Manager, and now he works at Kimberly-Clark, a multinational company. And his family also is here at Inter-American Academy, and we're very, very excited to welcome Roberto to the board also. The election of the new board members took place, and everybody supported those three new board members. We're very excited to welcome them to the board. If you have any questions, you can see the email address of Stefan Mueller, who is our new board chair, as Cheryl Johnson will be leaving us this year. We thank Cheryl and all of the board members who are leaving this year for all of their volunteer hours and support and energy and time to make IAA better. We are truly better together. Thank you.
Go Sharks!